Lily had always preferred to stay in the background. Even in a crowded room, she could melt into the walls, unnoticed and untouched by the chaos around her. Her friends often joked about her shyness, but Lily didn't mind. She liked her quiet world, her small routines, the comfort of predictability, but that morning was different. The soft buzz of her phone startled her. A notification blinked on the screen, "Time for your annual breast screening. Please schedule your appointment." Lily sighed and stared at the message. She had been putting it off for months, each day finding a reason not to go. But she knew she couldn't ignore it forever. Health was important, they said. And yet, the thought of someone, anyone, examining her so intimately made her stomach knot. She reluctantly opened her calendar and booked an appointment. The date glared back at her, taunting her. "You have to go, Lily," she whispered to herself. "Just once. Just today." The morning of the appointment, the city was cloaked in a gentle drizzle. Lily pulled her coat tight around her, the hood hiding her face from curious strangers. The streets were slick with rain, and the smell of wet asphalt filled the air. She clutched her bag nervously, her fingers trembling slightly. As she approached the clinic, she felt the familiar churn of anxiety in her stomach. She had visited clinics before, but today felt different. Today, it wasn't just a routine checkup. It felt personal. Vulnerable, the receptionist greeted her with a practiced smile and handed her a slip of paper. "Dr. Adrian Blake, room 5. Lily froze. Adrian Blake. The name rang a bell. She shook her head, trying to dismiss it. Surely it was just a coincidence. Still, something in her chest skipped a beat. Millionaire, philanthropist, youngest CEO of a tech empire, she had read about him online countless times. And now, he was her doctor. Her thoughts swirled in confusion as she walked down the sterile hallway. The hum of fluorescent lights above her was deafening compared to the silence in her mind. Each step echoed in the corridor, and she gripped her bag tighter, her knuckles whitening. When she reached room 5, she hesitated before knocking. Gathering her courage, she pushed the door open. He was there. Dr. Adrian Blake. Up close, he was even more striking than she had imagined. Tall, lean, with sharp, refined features softened by a kind, approachable expression. His hair was neatly styled, and his eyes, a shade of deep hazel, met hers with an intensity that made her heart flutter uncontrollably. "Hello, Lily," he said warmly, his voice calm and soothing. "I'll be taking care of you today. Don't worry, it's routine." Routine. The word did little to calm the whirlwind of thoughts and sensations in her mind. She nodded, trying to appear composed. He gestured to a chair. "Please have a seat. We'll take things step by step. If you feel uncomfortable at any time, just let me know." The warmth in his voice, the careful way he spoke, made her feel a strange sense of trust. Yet, her anxiety didn't vanish. She fidgeted with the hem of her sleeve, her gaze fixed on a painting on the wall, a blurry abstract that didn't hold her attention at all. Adrian noticed her discomfort. "I know this can be nerve-wracking," he said gently. "Many of my patients feel the same. But I promise, you're in safe hands." His words, simple as they were, made her chest tighten, not from fear, but from an unidentifiable flutter. There was something in the way he looked at her, something patient, kind, almost personal. Lily had never experienced such a mix of nervousness and inexplicable curiosity. As he prepared for the screening, he explained each step in detail, his tone professional yet comforting. "I'll step out for a moment while you change into this gown. Take your time. I'll be back shortly." Alone in the small changing room, Lily's mind raced. How was it possible that someone so perfect was now responsible for examining her? She shook her head and reminded herself to focus. Health. Routine. That's all. When Adrian returned, she felt her heart skip another beat. He greeted her with a reassuring smile and began the examination. Every movement was precise, careful, respectful. He explained what he was doing at every step, checking her comfort level constantly, and yet, there was something in his eyes that lingered on her a moment longer than necessary, a softness, a curiosity, that made her cheeks burn. She looked away, embarrassed, but also intrigued. It was confusing. How could someone so powerful, so wealthy, be so genuinely kind and attentive? The examination concluded without incident. Adrian stepped back, removing his gloves, and offered her a warm smile. All done. Everything looks fine, Lily. You're healthy. Relief washed over her, but her mind was a storm. She thanked him, trying to sound composed, and left the room with a strange lightness in her step. Outside, the rain had stopped. The city felt different somehow, brighter, more alive, as if it too had taken a deep breath along with her. Walking down the street, she couldn't stop thinking about him. Adrian Blake, the young millionaire, the CEO, the doctor who had made her nervous heart flutter in ways she didn't understand. She tried to rationalize it. He was just a doctor. It didn't matter. Yet, no matter how much she tried, the memory of his gaze, his gentle reassurances, and that inexplicable warmth refused to leave her thoughts. By the time she reached home, she realized something. The routine appointment had been far from ordinary. Something had shifted within her. Something delicate, unexpected, and unnameable had begun to bloom, and Lily, the shy girl who had always stayed in the background, had just caught the attention of a man whose world was anything but ordinary. Little did she know, this unexpected appointment was only the beginning, a beginning that would change everything about her life, her heart, and her very understanding of love. The week after her appointment, Lily tried to focus on her daily routine, but Adrian Blake's presence lingered in her thoughts like a soft, persistent melody she couldn't ignore. She told herself it was foolish. He was a millionaire, a public figure, and a man from a completely different world. She was just Lily. Quiet, shy, ordinary Lily. And yet, when she thought about his warm smile, his calm, attentive manner, her chest fluttered in ways she had never experienced before. That Saturday, Lily found herself volunteering at a charity event downtown, a women's health initiative she had joined months ago. The air buzzed with activity, tables lined with pamphlets, volunteers bustling about, and the soft hum of background music. She smiled politely at the guests, helping them navigate the event, all the while trying to push the image of Adrian from her mind. But fate, it seemed, had a plan. Across the crowd, she noticed a familiar figure. Tall, confident, moving with purpose, yet somehow approachable. Her breath caught. It was him. Adrian Blake. Her heart thudded in her chest like a drum, and for a moment, she froze in place. How could this happen? What were the odds that the man who had been her doctor just a week ago, who had seen her at her most vulnerable, would now appear here, in her world? Adrian's eyes scanned the room and locked onto hers. Recognition flickered across his face, followed by a genuine, warm smile. He excused himself from the small crowd of dignitaries around him and walked toward her with ease and confidence. "I didn't expect to see you here," he said, his voice carrying that same calm warmth that had stayed with her since their first meeting. Lily felt her cheeks heat up. I volunteer here sometimes," she stammered, her voice barely above a whisper. He tilted his head slightly, studying her with a soft intensity that made her stomach flutter uncontrollably. "You have a kind heart," he said sincerely. "I remember our meeting last week. You were nervous, but brave. That stayed with me." For a brief moment, Lily felt unmoored, unsure how to respond. Brave. The word seemed foreign on her lips, but somehow, coming from him, it didn't feel exaggerated. It felt true. They spent the next few hours moving around the event together. Adrian was personable, engaging with everyone he met, yet somehow, he always returned to her, making her feel like she was the only person in the room. Lily found herself laughing more than she had in weeks, feeling a lightness she hadn't realized she had been missing. As the event wound down, they walked outside together. The sun was setting, casting a golden glow over the city streets. There was a comfortable silence between them, punctuated only by the distant sound of traffic and the occasional laughter of people leaving the event. "I've been thinking about you since our meeting," Adrian admitted, his tone gentle. "There's something about your quiet strength, it's rare. And it intrigued me." Lily's heart skipped a beat. She had never been pursued like this before, not with such honesty, such warmth. Her hands trembled slightly as she adjusted her coat. I never expected this," she whispered. "Neither did I," he said, smiling softly. "But sometimes, the best things in life arrive unexpectedly. And I think, maybe this is one of those times." For the first time, Lily allowed herself to look at him, not as a millionaire, not as a public figure, not even as her doctor, but as a man. A man who had noticed her. A man who had been kind to her. A man who, despite his fame and fortune, seemed genuinely interested in who she was beneath the surface. Weeks passed, and what began as casual meetings grew into something deeper. Coffee turned into lunches, lunches into dinners, and dinners into long walks through quiet streets, where they talked about everything: hopes, fears, dreams, and the little things that made life meaningful. Lily discovered that Adrian was more than his wealth and public image. He was thoughtful, compassionate, and surprisingly grounded. He remembered the smallest details about her: the way she laughed at tiny jokes, the way she frowned when she was deep in thought, the quiet kindness she showed to strangers. And Adrian discovered Lily's courage, her empathy, and her unwavering honesty. He admired the way she approached life with care and thoughtfulness, even when she doubted herself. He found himself drawn to her in ways he hadn't expected. One evening, as they walked along a quiet park path, lit by the soft glow of street lamps, Adrian stopped and turned to her. "Lily, I know we come from different worlds," he said, his voice serious but gentle. "But I can't deny what I feel. I care about you more than I've ever cared about anyone." Lily felt her chest tighten. She had spent so long avoiding attention, avoiding connection, avoiding love, and now, here it was, standing right in front of her. I feel the same," she whispered, her voice trembling with emotion. He took her hand, a simple gesture that made her heart soar. "Then we'll take it slow. We'll navigate this together. But I want you to know, what I feel for you is real." In that moment, everything else faded away. The city, the rain, the worries, all of it disappeared. It was just the two of them, standing together, hearts connected in a way neither had anticipated. Lily realized something profound: love didn't always arrive dramatically or on cue. Sometimes, it arrived quietly, in moments of vulnerability, in gestures of kindness, in shared glances across a room. And sometimes, it arrived when you least expected it, between a routine appointment and a heartbeat that changed everything. From that night onward, their lives intertwined. Adrian and Lily discovered that love wasn't about grand gestures or extravagant displays. It was about noticing the little things, caring deeply, and being present for each other. And for Lily, the shy girl who once feared attention, she learned that sometimes, stepping out of her comfort zone wasn't just about bravery, it was about opening her heart to a world she never imagined could love her so completely. Adrian, the young millionaire, had found someone who reminded him that life's greatest treasures weren't measured in wealth or power, they were measured in the courage to be kind. The willingness to be vulnerable, and the ability to love without hesitation. Together, they stepped forward, hand in hand, ready to face a future neither had expected but both had longed for, proof that love often finds you in the most ordinary moments, turning them into something extraordinary.